The problem with playing against Caro Kann defense players is that the opening is very hard to play against and it is difficult to beat. So in this video, I'm going to show you an opening that is fun to play and very aggressive, which you can use to dominate Caro Kann defense players. And by the end of this video, you will learn all the lines and every information you need in order to destroy and dominate the Caro Kann. So whenever you play e4, you are expecting your opponent to play e5. And if your opponent plays e5, yes, it is going to be a tactical game that you guys are going to enjoy. And whoever is the better player and whoever is the more sharper player is going to win. But when you play against the Caro Kann, your opponent is going to play c6. And this is going to lead to very boring games where you might even end up losing the end game. But today I'm going to give you a nice weapon which you can deploy against this opening, and that is the 2 knights Caro Kann. On this second move, you are going to play knight to c3. It looks funny because after your opponent plays d5, you are going to play knight to f3. And now this is the starting position of the 2 knights Caro Kann. You are going to develop both of your knights first. And here there are 4 main moves that black can play, and these are the moves that we are going to go over in this video. Your opponents can take, your opponents can push, they can choose to develop the knight and defend this pawn in the center, and they can choose to pin your knight. So these are the 4 main moves. So let's go over the take variation first because this is the most interesting. If your opponent takes the pawn, this is the best thing that you can hope for in the Caro Kann defense because at least it opens up the board a little bit. So you are going to take this pawn, and if your opponent plays bishop to f5, you've already won the game. I actually mean it. You've already won the game because you are going to retreat your knight and then you are going to attack this bishop. You are gaining a tempo on this bishop, and black already has to be very careful. This is move 5 and already tactics are running on the board. This is not something that Caro Kann defense players want. So if they are not careful, they have to pin this knight back and then take this knight. That is what you have to do. But if your opponents are not careful and they go back, they are already losing because you are going to play h5. You are trying to trap the bishop. That is the plan. And if they play a move like h6, in order to give this escape square to the bishop, it doesn't matter because you jump your knight and attack this bishop. And they don't want you to take this bishop because if they play a normal move like a6 here, we are going to take this bishop, and if they take back, the king side has already become weakened and there's nothing for them in this position. So that's why they are going to retreat their bishop back, and then we are going to bring our queen to h5. We are already threatening checkmate on move 8 against the Caro Kann defense. So you can see why Caro Kann players are not going to love this opening variation very much. So here there are a lot of moves for black, a lot of losing moves actually, because some black players can decide to play their queen to d5, trying to take cover of the checkmate, but it doesn't work due to bishop to c4. And now you are losing by force. There is nothing you can do in this position. If you decide to move your queen, you are getting absolutely steamrolled. I'm going to take. If you move your queen, I'm going to take. Your king moves, I'm going to take with check, and I'm going to take your sword, I'm going to take your life. This is something that Caro Kann defense players do not want. So if they don't play this losing move, they can also play this move, which they think that is trying to block the checkmate threat, but it doesn't actually do anything because we can still develop our bishop to c4, and we are offering them our queen. Okay, if you want my queen, you can take it, but it is a bad move to take the queen because if they take the queen, I have bishop takes on c7, check, and also checkmate because this king, it has no squares. The king is boxed in, and we have won the game by move 10. This is something Caro Kann players do not want. So if they don't take our queen here and they decide to try to defend their king by playing e6, there is still another trap left, and this is the strongest threat. We are going back with our queen to the e2 square, and in this position every single move that black plays is losing. I mean every single move, except from when they develop their queen to c7 to e7, or they bring the queen to f3. Those are the only moves that don't lose. Any other move, if they develop this knight, they are losing. If they develop this bishop, they are losing. If they bring the bishop here, they are losing. If they develop the knight, whatever they do, they are losing in this position. Let's say they develop this knight. If they develop this knight, it's already curtains for black, because we are going to take this pawn on f7, and we are going to fork the queen and the rook, and the king has to take. If the king takes, we have queen takes on e6 check. All these squares are covered. The king has to move, and now this is simply checkmate. You simply checkmated your opponent. So this is really, really interesting stuff that you can play against Caro Kann. And this Caro Kann players absolutely hate this, because they are not good in tactics. So that is why they try to play boring openings that is going to make you lose your focus. So now in this position, after we take back, they took here on this square, and now we took back. If they don't play bishop to f5, and they instead play knight to f6, they are trying to trade this knight. We are not going to take, because this, if you take, this is going to go into the Tatakoa variation, and Caro Kann defense players are always well prepared in this opening, because it is a very, very popular opening. They prepare for it. If you take, they are going to take with the e-pawn, they are going to develop their bishop, they are going to castle, bring their rook to the center, and do a lot of things. But here we are not going to take, we are going to play queen to e2. And here, if they take this knight, you are going to take it. And they might try to come here and gain tempo on your queen, but if they come here, you simply develop your bishop, and if they come here, you bring your queen back. So now in this position, look at it very, very carefully, because the most popular move by black here loses, because if they go bishop to g4, pinning this knight, they are already lost, because we have bishop takes on f7, check, the king has to take, and now we have knight to e5 check to the king, and also we are double attacking this bishop. So the bishop can't take our coin because the king is in check. So the king has to move. If the king goes here, it's already lost, because you can take this bishop, and they can't take, because if they take, we have queen to e6, and this is simply checkmate. And if you were looking at this knight, you are not okay. This knight is worth nothing. The king is worth more. So we are not going to take this knight, we are going to take the king instead, and the king is going to literally be checkmated. That is if they play that opening variation. So these are the most popular moves when they take. When they take a pawn, they can either play this or they play this. So now, let us look at another variation. What if they push this pawn? If they push this pawn, we are still winning, because we are going to retreat with our knight, and now these two knights are attacking this pawn, and they have to do something about it. And here they are going to play c5 in order to defend the knight, and then we are going to move our knight so that we can open up this square for our bishop to develop. So now we can play a move like knight to c6, we develop our bishop, and knight to f6, we push our pawn, and here a very, very popular move is to play e5, and here they are simply lost, or they are going to be down a pawn, because we are going to jump our knight to g5, and then we are looking at this pawn on f7. And funny enough, there is no way to defend against this threat, because what can they play? They cannot block this diagonal, because we simply take. There is no way to block this bishop away from attacking, except they bring this bishop here, and here we are going to take. We can either take with the bishop, where they are going to take back, and we are going to take with an attack on the queen, or we can take with the knight. So if they play this, we can take with the knight. If they take, we have this bishop. This bishop is slicing everything. The king cannot castle here. We are simply going to castle our own king to safety, and we are going to push pawn to f4, and then try to open up the f file. So this is how we are going to play in this opening variation. This is our game plan. So now let's look at the other move, and this is the the best response from black, is to pin our knight to g4, trying to pin the knight to the queen. So here we have no problem. You can simply develop our bishop, and there is also a trap here where black can decide to push on d4, trying to gain tempo on our knight, but it doesn't work, because we can simply take this pawn, and now we are up a pawn, because if black takes this knight, we are going to take this bishop, and if this bishop takes our bishop, we are not going to take with the queen. Instead, this same knight, we are going to use it to recapture. So if they take, we are going to take back with our knight, and if you look at it, we are up a pawn. This pawn is gone, and we have all our own pawns. We have everything safe, so we are up a pawn in this position. So that is another opening trap that black could fall into. So if you don't push, on d5, if they don't push on d4 here, what can they do? Let's say they push their pawn in order to continue their development. Here we are going to play d5. And at the end of the day, your opponent are going to play a move like knight f6. We are going to push. They are going to come back. And here, we are going to bring our bishop here, bring our queen here, and castle our king to safety. And now we are going to push a6. And whatever they do, it doesn't matter. We are going to take, and we are going to bring our rook to the g file. So this is going to be our game plan. So now what in this they reply with knight to f6, gaining tempo on this pawn. So after knight f6 here, what should we do? We are going to push our pawn, and if they come here, I won't take this knight. I don't want to take this knight. Instead, I'm going to push my pawn to d5, to d4, and if they take, we are going to take back. And you can now see that we have this nice space advantage on the king side, because we can bring our bishop here. Our bishop is going to be very, very strong. In case black castles king side, it might end up losing. Our knight is going to become very, very active. If they bring their bishop here first, they are still going to bring our bishop here, so that if they take, we can take back with the pawn or with the queen. But if the bishop doesn't develop and they play instead e6, it is great for us to develop our bishop. Whatever they do, we push e4, we push our pawn to h4, and if the castle, we jump our knight here, and it is very, very hard. And even here already we have this iconic sacrifice. Bishop takes on f7, on h7. If the king takes, and jump our knight. If the bishop takes, you can open up with check on the king, and this is already made in 4 moves. The game is very, very lost here. So you can see that in whatever black decides to play, this opening has really, really great chances for white, and which black doesn't want. So if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to the channel. Bye.